so this first one, you got logs on both sides of the equation. So what can I do with them? I got logs on both sides. Cancel them. If you got log on both sides, that means the logs are equal, which also means the inside is equal to the a part, or a value. So I can set those equal to each other and then just solve that. Okay, so divide by 5, and then we get 0/5. Okay, so make sure you guys write that in if you're doing that online. Now, I'm actually, just to simplify, it's not an equation anymore. You're not solving for x. Okay. Okay, so you're just combining two logs into one. Now, if you're adding two logs, how do we combine them?
Multiply.
Multiply. Multiply what? What numbers are we multiplying here?
2x and 2.
Okay, so it's log base 5 of what now? 6x. Okay. All right, so now we just simplify. That's all you're doing there. You're just simplifying and putting it together. Or it might, and the problem might say like condense it. Okay, it might say something different. All right, so now let's put those two ideas together. So let's say I got log base 6 of 5x plus log base 6 of, let's say, I don't know, 2. Move this camera over a little bit. There we go. And then that is equal to log base 6 of 70. Okay. So now put those two ideas together. On the left side of the equation, you got to bring them together. And then you can cancel like this once you have one log on each side. You guys look right down here at the bottom. It's 9-139. There's a lot of log problems. So that's kind of what we're focusing on. But I always notice that log shows up in a lot of the packet assignments. So that's what we're going to do. Thumbs up when you guys are done. Yes, 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 yes. You're all good? Okay. All right. So Ruben, what are we doing here? Okay, that becomes what?
10x.
Okay, good. So 10x. Liberty, what are we doing next? What's that? Liberty. I said Liberty. It's okay. Combine. You said combine?
Yeah, the two logs.
Okay, so what do we do? How do we combine them?
You cancel them.
Oh, cancel them. So combine them or cancel them? Okay, so now what's my next equation here?
10x
Equals 7. Good. And then we'd solve that. Okay? All right. Okay, now let's start with 4 times log base 5 of x. I want you to simplify or rewrite. Simplify or rewrite this. Okay, so what I do here is I got 4 times that. This rule allows me to take that number and move it to the exponent of the x. So now this becomes log base 5 of x to the 4th power. Okay, so you just move that number in the front, move it over to the x. Now it becomes x to the 4th power. Anybody know what that's called? That rule? Well, this one, we're combining 2 by multiplying. We're using the, starts with a P. When you multiply 2 things, you end up with a what? Product. So product rule. Okay, when you move it to an exponent, what's another name for an exponent? X to the what?
Power.
4th power. Okay, so this is the power rule. Okay, when you're just moving that number in front to the exponent. Okay. All right, so now, before we move into an equation, solve this. X squared equals 9. Okay, so what are we doing to both sides of the equation here to solve that? Square root. And when we square root, we end up with two solutions. What are they here? All right, positive and negative 3. All right, now, let's do one more like that. Let's do x squared over, let me think. We'll say 9 equals 4. X squared over 9 equals 4. First thing, okay, I got to get rid of the 9, and then it's just like the last problem. All right, first we want to get rid of that 9. What are we doing here?
Multiply.
Multiply what, Natalie?
9.
Multiply 9, both sides. So that cancels. X squared equals 36, and it's the same steps. Square root. All right, square root, and what do we end up with?
Plus or minus.
All right, plus or minus 6. Now you could write this as x equals 6, comma, negative 6, if you want to write them out separately, or you could do plus minus. All right, now let's use all of that you just learned and put it all in one problem. Let's do 4x log base 5 of 4x minus 2. Actually, not minus 2. Let's do 7. So log base 5 of 4x minus log base 5 of 7. Now, there's no equal sign, so you're just simplifying it. You're just bringing it together. But this time it's minus, not plus. Good. So when it's minus, we divide. So instead of multiplying the two numbers, because it's adding, it's negative now or minus. So now we divide them. Okay. Which one always goes on top? It's always in the numerator.
The first one?
The first one, right? The one before the subtraction sign. It's always the first one in your numerator. Make sure you always write that. What do you get when you divide a number or divide numbers? What's the answer called? Or the name of this rule? When you multiply, you get a product. When you divide, you get a quotient. Okay, so that's your quotient rule. All right. All right, now it's time to put it all together. All right, now I'm going to give you something to work with. Erase this area. All right, so now we're going to do 2 times log of x. We'll just put a 7 down here. Minus log of 9. Okay. 9 equals 9 equals log base 7 of 9. Okay. So you got a few things here. You've got a number in front, which you got to change by the power rule. You got a minus. You got to bring the two logs together. You got logs on both sides, so you're gonna have to cancel. And then you might end up with something like this where you're gonna have to square root. So work it out. And we're always saying exponent, just like PEMDAS, exponents first. So make sure you guys are doing the power rule first. Power rule first. Before you combine. All right, so we're using that power rule. Bringing that 2 up there. Get that x squared. Log base 7x squared minus log base 7 of 9 equals log base 7 of 9. Then combine those two. You guys did a good job with that. Got x squared over 9. Now you just have one one log on each side, just like we did. I don't know if you guys can see it, but over there, where we can just cancel them. Now finish the rest, just like we did here, right? Where we have, you could do cross multiply, you can multiply both sides, however you want to do that, and then square root, okay? All right, so finish that, you guys at home, and then write down your answer. Okay, one more type of problem. All right, so let's actually move on over to this other side here. All right, zoom in just a tad. All right, let's go. Okay, so now, what are we working on? 11, 10, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so now let's say we've got log base 5 of 2x plus 1 equals 5 squared. I'm sorry, not 5 squared, equals 2. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys an example, and then I'll have you guys work on another one. I'm starting off in this form. I don't have log on both sides. So I can't just chop off the log. I've got to do something else. Any ideas? Divide 2. Well, if I divide 2, there's no variable over here. Are you talking about this 2? Oh yeah, you can't, if you divide that out, there's usually, you would divide that out if you had like an x or some variable over on this side. But the variable is inside of the log. Any thoughts? What do you think?
The exponential.
Exponential. So what do I do?
The b to the power b equals a.
Okay. So we're going to rewrite in exponential form. So this form is log. So it's log, what goes here?
B.
Of b, it's called the base. And then what's here?
E.
No, not b, it's a equals what?
E.
E. So we're going to go from that log form and then just switch it around and change it into exponential. That way we can get the log, the x out of the log. All right, so start with the b. What's the b up here? 5 to what power?
2.
2, and then equals 2x plus 1. First step to solving that. What should I do here? Squared. 5 squared, 25. Now you guys should be able to solve that. It's just a simple linear equation now. Okay, subtract the 1, divide the 2. All right, so now let's have you guys try one. Let's go log base 4 of 3x minus 1 is equal to 3. All right, now you guys try that. All right, now you guys are doing pretty good on that. Okay, so we got 4 to the power of 3, your b to the power of e equals your a. It's 64 here because it's 4 times 4 times 4, not 12. Sometimes we think, oh, that's multiplication. Remember, this is a exponent. Okay, so we're multiplying that to the power of 3. Okay, so now we get 3x minus 1, and then add the 1 divided to 3. Okay, so remember, if you end up with a fraction, you can't divide those numbers. Just leave it like that, or try to reduce it if you can. All right. But you do end up with 2 numbers that you can't reduce. So, all right. So you guys at home, finish that up. Write your answer. All right. Switch over real quick. Anything else I need to talk about, or is that it? No, that's really it. All right, so let me switch over here real quick. Okay, so you guys online, that's it for review. Just make sure that you go to the folder right here for week 14. Take a picture of the problems you just did. and go here to Zoom practice and just submit that assignment right there. Just take a picture and submit it, okay? All right, I will see y'all tomorrow.